I am the lost generation. Where will I stay? I am the stillborn child of a century, born to be violent, born to feel oppressed, born to be meager of beginnings, to bear a weakened breast. I am the lost generation, and where will I meet, apart from at the clubhouse? The corner of the street will be my dwelling place. I am fallen from the tree. I am the unheard chronicle of bad company. For now, I'll squabble over utterance, I'll roll up in defeat, but I'm the lost generation. Will no one answer me?
The reason that I wrote that poem was kind of partly because I wanted to pretend that I had some sort of artistic integrity. So I wrote it from a moral point of view, as if my morals were in some way better. So I wrote it from a badly informed spot, kind of. When it came to the actual putting it on the internet, people started looking at it, and some threw abuse at me. Some said they liked it. Firstly, most of the abuse was it wasn't really aimed at me. It was aimed at the people who people like me, sort of, but a lot of it was racial. So people thought that because I was black, I should be supporting the riots, and some guys started quoting Malcolm X at me, which was a bit weird. It was a new experience for me, but I managed to turn some of it around. So.
And when you're in a society such as this, where you're constantly primed, or in psychology you say primed because there's adverts everywhere about consumer products, and when you're constantly seeing all of this consumer product that you can't get, I suppose you can see why they're angry, because for a consumerism society, someone has to actually participate as a consumer. If they don't have the means to do that, you can see why they're angry. If you think about London, you never actually think about poverty. I mean, London is one of the most vibrant, dynamic cities in the world. And with a population, like a wealth of so high, you wouldn't think there would be so much poverty here. And you wouldn't think that people would act in such a rich country in this certain manner. Like, you expect it in places like, I don't know, where in developing countries where they don't have anything and they need to fight for food and fight for things, but you don't expect it in somewhere like London. Prior to that, there was a revolution in Egypt, in Syria, and you can see that the young people there were fighting for their rights and fighting for what they believed in and fighting for a better system. Whereas here, you see they had no sort of principle, they had no goal. They were literally just going out and looting and just expressing anger at something they don't really know what they're angry about.
We as a generation kind of we don't feel the sort of driving force behind us like the younger generations used to. So when you talk to people in their 50s or so, they had the driving force of the war. So you had war children, so they kind of felt together because of that. The government don't really talk to the youth. You have youth politics and things like that, but they're usually done in some stuff like town halls or places where youth don't really go. So there's not much reaching out to youth in different ways. So in that sense, I think that us as a whole generation, we're excluded from the politics.
One of the key issues about the people that actually went into the riots was that they weren't as well educated as they want to be, almost. I mean, they didn't have the opportunity of a private school and of a public school in the UK and have all of these resources where they could learn anything and they can go do sports and all of these things. I kind of actually went to a state school myself, and I know how it is.
I think that with the new government policy, like we were talking about, becomes harder for some people to achieve their life goals. Like if we're having to pay 9,000 for uni fees, or we're having to take out all these like massive loans, some people don't see it's worth it, because when you do the math, for some people, when they go to university and they finally get their job, it will take them too long, and it's actually easier for them to start from somewhere else.
When you're young, the only thing you really think about is what is going to be my future. And when you think that, oh no, I'm not going to have a university degree, my future prospects are kind of going down, then what's the point? You know, it's almost the system's cheating them of all of their rights.
Well, I'm going to university this year, so that's where I start off. But I think it'll be harder for me to achieve some goals. It'll be like I was planning to take a year off going abroad, but I don't think I'll be able to afford that.